I want to make the return journey back to peace. I want to allow my mind to once again experience the freedom that comes from simply being my eternal self. The mind has been caught up in the realm of having and the realm of doing, and it became a habit to exist within those realms. But now I choose to step back from having and from doing and just experience being I. I bring into my awareness once again my original and eternal form, and that is the form of the being of light. Picture the self as this being of peaceful light in the center of the forehead. Just be with the self. Free from any burden, free from any responsibility, no pulls, no pushes, just returning to the thought, I am. Allow yourself the freedom to not put any pressure upon the self. Allow the mind to be light. Allow the mind to be in this very natural, childlike state of innocence. These two simple words are the most powerful words to return to being. Simply, I am. And when I experience I am, I experience stillness. I experience calmness, and the natural quality of peace rises up and emerges from deep within the soul. I am. And now I choose to add another word to I am. I am light. Experience that light. Feel that light. I am still. Feel the beauty of stillness of thought. I am peace. Allow the mind to dwell upon these thoughts. In turn, by one. And as the mind dwells upon this eternal truth, the beauty of the soul gradually emerges. I am filled with power. I am filled with the energy to keep my mind stable. And I carry this stability with me as I re-enter the world of actions, interactions, relationships, and responsibilities.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Thursday series as we go to the whole journey of the inner space. How is everyone this evening?
Feeling good, Dipti, Sister Dipti. Oh, I'm really blessed to see you.
Oh, good.
Lakshmi here. It's Lakshmi.
Very good. Yes, so we see how within our journey, as the year has gone by and so many aspects have come up, one has to look at the journey in a very powerful way and ask myself, am I having a holding space? And this is what today's topic is about, creating holding space. And I think more and more today, more than any other time, this energy of holding space has become so and so vital. I'm sure this evening, as you heard the topic and you were thinking about it as you entered this room, it's such a beautiful moment to think, I owe that to myself. I owe this to others. And I owe this to the world. Because when I really do that, I create a sense of well-being. So I'm sure many of us had different thoughts, a variety of thinking processes that may have come up for you as you heard this today. But I'd like to start off with that holding space and that space of creating a culture of care for the self. I really believe that I cannot do this for anyone else until I do it for myself. The other day, somebody asked me, what is your theme presently? And one of the themes that I've held for myself presently is, in commas, loving discipline. It means to hold discipline, but a deep space of love. Because everything in our journey these days require us to be consistent, require us to be present in it. And if I'm not consistent and if I'm not present in that moment, I can't move forward. And so really that holding space is where I create firstly a presence for myself with deep attention. You know, often in life, you can get so busy and the busyness can take over until you reach an ouch moment where something gives you an ouch moment. And then you stop And you think, what happened? I was speaking to someone recently, and she had to go for a checkup because she wasn't feeling too well. And she had to go for certain tests. And she's a little concerned about what the results may be. But suddenly, in that moment, she had been thinking about the things she could have always been doing for herself, which she neglected. And now when suddenly a moment comes up and you think, okay, how can I best treat myself under these circumstances? Then you think about what of the things you could have been doing with consistency for yourself that you ignored because you were busy, because other things took priority, because maybe you were just too comfortable enough not to care on a higher frequency. So holding space for the self and creating a culture of care for the self is really that space where I take some time and ask myself certain very important questions. And I ask myself, what is it that I want to hold for myself, regardless of what is happening around me, inside of me, no matter what else is happening, what it is that I have to hold or I would love to hold. And very often in the Brahma Kumaris, we talk about the importance of the morning time and the evening time, where these are such powerful moments and spaces in your life which you can really nurture and strengthen and create a space that will bring stability. And this is an act of care for the self. I find early in the morning when I get up and I take that time in silence, first thing, to really be able to go within and meet the self. Meet the self in silence. Meet God in silence. Greet the world in silence. It's such an amazing space. Acknowledge the nature around me and give it good feelings. And when I hold that very powerful space of being present with the highest energies within and above me, I created such a moment of real care for myself. If I don't fill myself in the early morning hours, I will not be able to keep that nurturing, caring space for myself throughout the day. The day will just take over, and without me realizing, I have lived a very shallow journey, and I have been bruised, I've been bumped, I've been used, and it's not the journey that we like. And so to go deep inside the self and to come into that deep space of inner stillness. And when I'm able to create that space of stillness and silence for the self, really where the mind is silent, the mind is nurtured by beautiful, powerful thoughts. That's a powerful holding space of care. And when I can hold that space powerfully, then that will echo throughout my day. I find when I make that hour in the morning or half an hour or your 10 minutes, whatever it may be, I'd make it beautiful, make it powerful, nurture it. If you find it difficult just to do it with your own mind, then listen to something powerful. Write something that will activate and stimulate the higher frequency within you. But don't let your morning be ordinary. Don't let the first few hours of your day pass by in such ordinariness. And then you may ask yourself, why am I not happy? Why isn't the things in my life not generating a good feeling? Yeah. They say it's the way you start your day is the way your day will hold. And then also throughout the day, like in the Brahma Kumaris, we have what is called traffic control. And these are moments where throughout the day I come back to me. This is another holding space of care. You know, sometimes in the morning we start off with such a powerful intention, and we think about certain things and we say, I want to do this for myself. And then things happen. You get your next WhatsApp, and then you see something, and somebody had a conversation with you, and that purest intention of the morning is lost. Then you get so caught up in the situation that you forget your original intention. And so I find, like in the morning, if I really take time to be with my true original self, the soul is peace. The soul is love. The soul is pure. The soul is powerful. The soul is happy. The soul is wise. The soul is blissful. 7 facets, beautiful qualities of the soul. I have to wake them up first thing in the morning. That's the holding space. And when I allow that to echo through my day, then when I have these traffic controls during the day, I come back to me. No matter what it is, you may be busy in your office, you may be busy in meetings, you may be busy with all kinds of things in your life. But let these moments during the day be very acknowledged and give it that importance that you stop. You stop from everything and you come back to you. And my personal experience is when you do that, you start generating so much inner power. And it's like a part of you that says, thank you for being there for me. It's like, don't forget me. The inner self is saying, don't forget me. I want to give you the most beautiful experience, but don't get caught up in the outer and forget the precious being you are on the inside. And then at night, before you go to sleep, and sometimes this is a challenge. It's a challenge for many in the conversations I have, where at times they just think at night they want to relax, and they just keep looking at their mobile and just scrolling and look at different things and then fall off to sleep. They say, well, that relaxes me. But those are leaving such impressions on your being. You know, previously people used to fall off to sleep in front of the television. But these days, more and more people fall off to sleep with the last impression on their mobile phones. You know, really to make that time at least half an hour before you go to sleep, to be free from those devices. I know it's hard for me too. I sometimes feel that I need to just check something quickly. I'm trying to be still and go to sleep, and I think, well, I just need to see this quickly. And once you open your phone, it can take over. And so it's really a discipline. And I find that when I'm able to do it, it's so beautiful, where that space before you go to sleep is free from device. Yeah. Somebody said to me, device is very interesting word. Because in the word device, there is vice. So that's the ego, the anger, the greed, the jealousy. And we need to know how to use our devices well with discipline so that you don't just give entry to many other things. And so these are very powerful holding spaces for the self. Make your mornings powerful. Take times during the day and become centered in yourself. And then the evening time. And then sometimes things happen during the day. Either your own body may be challenging to you, or your thoughts may be challenging to you. Certain things come up in a form of worry or fear. These things happen in life. But again, don't in that moment become so caught up in it that it takes over. I find if my body is feeling a little pain or something happening, I just stop for a moment and give my body a lot of light and say, it's okay, I hear you. Okay, let me give you some light. And it's such a beautiful moment when you can do that. And you just give light to your body. That's a holding space where your body is talking to you and you respond to it with love. Maybe it's telling you, just sit down a little while. Just sit down for 3 minutes. You've been going crazy. Just sit down. Then you say to your body, okay, I'm sitting down. All of this has to be natural. It's not like I'm advertising that I need space. And people demand, I need space for myself. It's a very unnatural space. Yeah. It's so interesting. Both times I use the word space. It's very unnatural. But a person who is connected to themselves knows that I need to hold these spaces in between. And naturally, sometimes you find yourself being surrounded by thoughts that create a bit of concern or worry or fear. Maybe something is not feeling right inside, or something may have happened. Then again, instead of getting so locked in those thoughts in your own mind, hold space. And I find when something bothers me in that way, I just take pen to paper because that helps me. And I just start writing. The people who know me know that the best present I ever received from anyone is a book and pen because it really helps me so much. And I just take pen to paper and I say to myself, Dipti, are these thoughts serving you? No. Are these thoughts going to make any difference? No. Because as I write it down, I'm able to watch my thoughts. And it's not just all happening inside in my head, but I'm able to watch that space properly. And then many things can happen. And so I find that there are 5 things in one's journey that helps you to create a holding space. And when you recognize these 5 things, you can create a holding space for yourself. One is each one of us needs to feel loved. We need to feel understood. We need to feel valued. We need to feel respected. And we need to feel safe. And I'm not begging of this from anyone. But I realize that these are moments of well-being. And I give it priority. If things are happening in my life that may be not so pleasant, instead of being harsh on yourself, instead of being critical on yourself, realize what the self needs at that moment is love. What the self needs at that moment is to feel understood. And that's holding space. Because otherwise your emotions and your other thoughts rapidly take over. And as they rapidly take over, you go so far away from yourself. Now, when it comes to others, creating holding space, it's the same energy I find that's important. Where one is able to, for me, I find that each soul also needs to feel loved, understood, valued, respected, and safe. No matter what is happening in their journey. And if I hold this in my attitude, and I hold this in my vision, as I hold this in my thoughts, I provide for them a beautiful space of care. You know, these days, many things are happening in so many lives. You know, things that people never even dreamt of is beginning to happen to them. And all they need from you is good energy. They don't need your judgment and your critical input and your penny's worth. They need holding space from you, where even though life is doing many things to them, your attitude, your vision is holding them in love, is holding them in respect. Because today I'm finding relationships struggle a lot, and then afterwards, like two people are having a difficult time with each other. And then when they calm down, then the one says, "Oh, that was terrible, and I feel bad the way I spoke to you." And in those moments, if you've just held that good energy, yeah. Because people are only ugly and nasty because they're hurting. Nobody in your life will ever be ugly to you or nasty to you or horrible to you, whatever those words may be, if they are in a good space. They won't. They'll never do that to you. But when people inside are unhappy, when people inside are hurting, it is in that moment that their ugliness comes out, their irritability comes out, their impatience comes out, their harsh words come out. And your holding space in that moment is not to be reactive. When I become reactive, I create a lot of damage. It doesn't mean that I don't talk. It doesn't mean that my communication is not clear. But everything needs the right moment. If somebody is so emotional and upset, no matter what you are saying to them at that point, they actually can't hear you because their own voice and noise is very loud in that moment. And so in those moments in your journey, you need to create a space that is able to just create that space within for the person so that they don't react. And when the time is right, then you can talk to them and say, "No, the situation came out." When both the feelings are in the right space, then you can talk about it. So it's very, very necessary, especially in today's time. People are going through so much. And people in our lives don't need to be told. People in our life these days don't need to be lectured at. People in our life today need our caring presence. A presence that's filled with respect and a presence that's filled with love. You know, sometimes people say, but all these things sound nice, but it's very hard when people around you are very difficult to you and they are rude and have so much of ego. But you know, those are the same people that are struggling. Just to always remember the wisdom that people in their insecurity will be bossy, will be controlling, will be loud, will be dominating. Behind that, right at the bottom of it, it's just insecure energy. It's like they behave like a wolf, but right inside there's this gentle lamb that is afraid to be hurt. And so they create these protective shields. And when you are able to create that space to be able to support them in that way, it's amazing what begins to come up in an incredibly powerful way. So creating a holding space for others, for me, is these 5 words. Let each soul feel loved, understood, valued, respected, and safe. It's a beautiful space to be able to hold. Yeah? And again, you'll see at times there are people, all they need is to be heard. Today, there are very few people who make time to listen to people. Yeah. We have lived in such a world of busyness. I think one of the things that humanity is more and more lacking in terms of relationships is time to listen. We've forgotten to listen to ourselves, but we've also not seen the importance of listening to others. You know, we just see in the family, for example, the big dominance and takeover of the mobile phone. Now, please, you have to hear me properly. The mobile phone has its place, but it cannot take over your life. It cannot take over valuable time for family time. It cannot take over valuable time for sitting, you know. Sometimes somebody has been waiting for you at the end of the day and they ask you very nicely, how was your day? And, you know, if you're so busy, you say, yeah, I was fine, and you carry on. But maybe them asking you, how was your day, is a call to say, I'm here. I'm here for you. How was your day? You're beyond the words to what the need of the moment is. And when I'm able to create presence, holding presence, I hear the need beyond the words. And this is a very, very powerful space today. You know, a lot of people in life, it's so unfortunate that they one day pass on with deep, deep frustration, feel nobody ever heard me, nobody ever understood me. State of the world, isn't it? Because people are busy. And I often ask the question, busy doing what? So holding space is that energy of love, care, safety, respect, the space of listening. When I'm talking about respect, to be a listener. Yeah. Today, it is interesting how even people may have good homes, big homes, but everyone is on their own phone in their rooms. you know. And even when people do come together, it's like sometimes it's not done where people just feel, how often can two people just sit and watch the sun set? It's so beautiful. Or today it's drizzling outside here in Johannesburg, but it's lovely. You know? So holding space is really to enjoy together. You don't have to be always in a talking mode together, but to enjoy together. The third space, holding space, I'd like to take is with nature. Because today we see that nature really needs a lot of love and a lot of light. We see in many places in the world today where nature showing its anger and showing its unhappiness. And we have created this discomfort for the elements through what humanity has done. And I need to every day give time and a lot of love to the nature. Because nature at this point of time is very unpredictable, and we see what's happening. In one season, you will get winter, summer, in one day, winter, summer, everything. When humanity's consciousness is stable, the seasons are stable. They talk about the time when they talk about a heavenly time, and there's a feeling that there's constant spring. You don't have to worry. You planned an event and suddenly it's raining, or you planned something and you've got this lovely outfit and it's icy cold. None of that happens because nature's your friend and nature will support you. And that is my response to nature. And sometimes it's incredibly windy, and I just look at the wind and I, with my mind, caress it. Say, it's okay. No need. Relax. It's such a beautiful feeling. We need to show the care to nature, because if we respect nature, then nature will respect us. If we create the pollution and we create the wastage with the elements, then we receive the karmic return of that. So even in your holding space with nature, take time every day to give love and light to the elements. We're so lucky in certain places, we can still breathe some fresh air. In other places in the world, people are struggling so much because of pollution that they can't even breathe properly. There's rain, there's flooding. It's like water needs our respect. Air needs our respect. The earth needs our respect. We only think about it when things happen, but on a daily basis, let me surround myself with such love for nature that I'm able to hold that space powerfully. And that's the nature of care. We create so much of pollution in the air with our vibrations. When my vibrations are, sometimes you go to certain places, and because everyone is so negative, and you walk into that home or that room and it's stiff and it's heavy, it's like the energy is so polluted. The room is so polluted. And so we have to give a lot of love and a lot of light to this place. It's very beautiful. And then finally, holding space with God. This is the light of love that knows me, understands me, and has accepted me for who I am. And let me not lose out on these precious moments with God. If I really make time to feel God's love and God's care and God's support for me in many, many ways, in a powerful way within my journey, and I make that time of that connection and that beautiful space, then many beautiful things begin to happen. It's like we need to make time for God every day. And to make time for God means to make time in my relationship with God. God is my eternal parent. God is, one day a child, I was at school and one child asked me, ma'am, who's your Valentine? I used to teach secondary school kids. And this child asked me, who's your Valentine? And, the reality is that it is God. And so one child in the front said, oh, don't you know it's God? And then the whole class went, yo. And, it was a unique moment. And I don't pretend in the class to be super holy or super religious or whatever. But it's a reality. My holding space of love is with God. And so you have to create these moments for yourself in an incredibly powerful way. And when these moments are balanced for the self, for others, with God, and our response to nature, then we create an atmosphere around us that's of care and nurture. Because we see today in the world things are quite dramatic. And many things begin to happen in so many ways along our journey. And if I'm not inwardly stored with these right energies, if I'm not filled with these right energies inside, when life demands that of me, I won't be able to give. What happens today in life is like there's two flat batteries and they're trying to charge each other. And it just causes a circus. It just doesn't work. So take time to charge your own battery. Take time to create your beautiful inner space so that you hold the space with your vibration for yourself, for others, for nature and the world itself. So these are thoughts of my heart, but I'm sure you also have something that you'd like to share, or you may have any questions. Please feel free to unmute and ask, or you can put it in the chat. Yes. Anybody? Any thoughts you may have, or any questions, or anything you heard this evening that you'd like to comment on? Let's feel free.
May I
Yes,
say
you
something?
may. Yes, Claire, please do.
Thank you. So much of what you said resonated so deeply. I'm sitting with a situation at the moment between two friends where I feel as though I'm a little bit stuck in the middle, and two friends are not getting on well at the moment. And I never, ever want to get involved in conflict. And it's not because I'm conflict avoidant, but I always feel that there's a better way to deal with
Yes.
things. And it's speaking from the heart. And as opposed to and I think all of us as humans, we have a tendency to want to defend and deflect. And everything that you said this evening, thank you so much, sister, because it is just also accepting our own vulnerability and taking ownership where we've maybe overstepped boundaries or said something that in that moment, because we're angry or we're hurt, it's just accepting accountability and just apologizing. And it's not a form of weakness. It's just saying, I'm sorry, I love you, I accept you. And I think for us as humans, we find that really difficult.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you so much, Claire. It's so true. And you brought out this word boundaries. And I think it's something valuable, which I want to further highlight as well. Because, yeah, in every relationship, you have to learn to create healthy boundaries. And that healthy boundaries is based on love, respect, and holding that space. Thank you very much, Claire. Anybody else like to share, ask, comment? Such wonderful people I see today on. I'd love to hear from you. Some names I know well. Please talk to
Thank
me.
you so much, Sister Dipti. What an informative conversation. I was just wondering, you mentioned starting in the morning was important and ending the evening, and then the traffic controls. But is there some more practical advice with maybe, when we end the evening, how do we actually go about checking the day? And how would you give us some techniques maybe to put in place to keep that holding spaces clean so that we don't take the residue of one day into the next day? Thank you.
Thank you. I feel that for myself, two things are important. One is next to my bed, I have a book and pen. And just like a little child, I write everything. The other day, we had a function, and it's just like a little child that said to its parent, "Thank you for being there. Thank you for being with me." It was just like everything that sits in my heart, I say it. But also the things that may be of concern, I always find that if I write it and I deal with it in that way, and the most important thing is to offer it to God. You know, on Sunday in our morning class, there's a very beautiful point that God is here. God is here for you. And you don't have to hold on to your burdens. You don't have to hold on to your bondages. Because many of these things we have held on to it because we thought we had no other choice. And here we are, where God teaches me to think differently. And He's here to be with me. He's holding my hand. And so at night, when you go to sleep, knowing that, like one of my nephews said to me, "Hey, I feel your God has your back covered." And I thought, yeah, He does. It's like you need to know that God is there for you. And when you can really release at night, it's very, very important, really, that half an hour before you go to sleep. I know I struggle at times when my mobile phone is in my hand and I say to myself, no, I can't do this to myself. And just putting the device aside and really sitting with myself and sitting in God's presence and being able to clear that space. Because whatever you go to sleep with at night, you are programming your subconscious with. So if you go to sleep with the thought, gosh, I'm tired, I promise you'll get up in the morning feeling tired. I find for myself, one of the things that I say to my body at night when I go to sleep is that every cell is receiving light and love, as I'm going to sleep, and that whilst I'm sleeping, my body is rejuvenating and the repair work is happening. I program it because this body is a valuable instrument. And so I use the time at night to program my subconscious. And when you program your subconscious in that way, you can use it properly. So I find at night journaling is very important. Sitting in silence. If none of that is like working for you, then play your most happiest song. Not hectic, beautiful song, but go to sleep in a good space. Don't ever go to sleep having a fight. If you sometimes in couples, things happen and then they fight and they both go to sleep with a heavy heart. Yeah, just don't ever do that to yourself. Because what you do when you sleep with a heavy heart is you create so much damage to your being, to your subconscious. So yeah, thank you, Carver. But that evening time is such an important time. And I know for myself, the morning's very powerful, but the evenings require more attention because the day is busy, the evenings are busy. And at times I just feel, oh, okay, I just need to go to sleep. And I say to myself, no, you can't. Prepare for your sleep with your mind powerfully. Yeah. Anything else? Anyone else? Pleasure,
Good evening,
Janine.
Sister Dipti.
Yes, Ramon. Say something, Ramon.
Oh man, I'm just so grateful for your energy, for the service you provide to the world. We feel it and we are all grateful for you. And these practical, timeless exercises really do keep one in the game. And I can say that for myself. Being able to give myself the space. I love the way you said a holding space. You used the word differently than I would have thought about it. Um, I just enjoyed the way you put together, tonight's conversation. It was very relevant, very, very useful, and it almost felt like it was exactly what I needed to hear tonight.
Good. Lovely to hear from you, Ramon. Hope you are
Always
well.
good.
You sound well.
Always
Good.
good. Thank you so much for everything you do for us, Sister Dipti.
Pleasure. Thank you, Gina. Lovely. Okay, so create beautiful holding spaces for yourself and allow yourself to be filled with that energy powerfully. If there's nobody else, we can end off with a nice meditation together. Any last thoughts, anyone? Thank you, Jacqueline. Yes. Okay. So let's have a nice meditation together. Just give me one moment. The music's coming on.
Once again I will write upon your heart, and I'll meet you deep inside your inner castle, where together we can take the fear apart. And you've no idea just how much I've missed you. I've been waiting many lifetimes for your call, and I will sing my song of love for those who hear, and I will sing my song of love. I will come to you when emptiness surrounds you. Once again I will fill you with my life, and I'll meet you deep inside your inner castle, and I will hold you through the darkest night. And you've no idea just how much I adore you, for if you did, you'd never feel alone. And I will sing my song of love for those who hear, and I will sing my song of love. And I will sing my song of love for those who hear, and I will sing my song of love. Those who hear.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Good night, sister. It's Lakshmi. I finally had words to describe. I'm really thankful to the Divine Supreme for connecting me with you, and who helps me in my spiritual journey. Thank you, sister. Good
Thank you,
night. God
Lakshmi.
bless. Okay, then we're looking forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you,
Good night.
Lakshmi.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thanks, Sister Dipti. Good night.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Sister
Bye,
Dipti. Thanks,
Jacqueline.
everyone.
Bye, Carver.
Thank you. Good night.
Pleasure, Tina.
Thank you, sister.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much. It was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, sister. Much appreciated. Have a gentle night. Bye.
You too. Thank you. Thank you,
Bye.
Joy. Good night as well.